So we are going to look at further examples still under sequences, and for these particular examples you are given a formula. Then from this formula you need to derive the terms of that particular sequence. So let's go through it. Write down the first three terms of the sequences. The first sequence is given by the formula 2n. So this is just a formula for our sequence. So we have to write down the first three terms. So remember, this n refers to the nth term or the number of term that you are considering. So if you are to get the first term, meaning n is 1, if you are to get the second term, n becomes 2, and so on and so forth. So let us list down the first three terms here. So what are the solution? For 2n, the first three terms, when n is 1, we have 2 multiplied by 1, and that is 2. When n is 2, we have 2 multiplied by 2, and that is 4. And when n is 3, we have 2 multiplied by 3, and that is 6. So we realize that the first term when n is 1, we got 2. The second term when n is 2, we got 4. And the third term when n is 3, we got 6. So what this formula implies is that you have to multiply, to get into the nth term, you have to multiply 2 to the previous term. So 4, we got it by multiplying 2 by 2. And this, we got it by... So example 2, we have 2n plus 1. So what is the first term? That is, when n is 1, we substitute 1 here, so that we have 2 multiplied by 1, then you add 1. And this gives us 2 times 1 is 2, then if you add 1, you get 3. When n is 2, you place 2 or substitute 2 here, so that we have 2 into 2 plus 1, and this gives us 4 plus 1, which is 5. And eventually when n is 3, we have 2 into 3 plus 1, and this gives us 7. So the first three terms for this particular formula is 3, 5, and 7. When we look at example 3, when n is 1, we substitute 1 here, so that we have 1 squared plus 1 over 2. And 1 squared is just 1, plus 1, that is 2 over 2, we get 1. Then when n is 2, what are we going to have? We are going to have 2 squared plus 1 over 2. And 2 squared is 4. If you add 1, you get 5 over 2. Or this is just 2.5. And lastly, when n is 3, we are going to have, substitute 3 there, so that we have 3 squared plus 1 over 2. And 3 squared is 9 plus 1, that is 10 over 2, which is 5. So the first three terms for this particular formula is 1, 2.5, 5. Or you can just decide to write 1, 5 over 2, 10 over 2. So this is the simplified form. Having done the first three examples, I expect you to try the fourth example, 2 raised to power n plus 1. Please list down the first three terms for this particular formula.